Alright, hello everyone, I am Little Shy if I am, and here I am attempting to do my very first product review, which some of you said you would be interested in seeing this sort of thing. I'm sure after seeing how terrible I am at it, you'll change your mind. If you saw my previous video, you know that Shapeways was nice enough to send these 3D printed figures my way. These figures are all made of colored sandstone. Of course, they're printed by Shapeways using a 3D printer. Those sort of details in my other video, but for those of you that wanted more... Uh-oh, my camera's out of focus, this is not good. It's a new camera. This is also an excuse to test out a new camera. Are these worth paying for or not, or should you just should you resort to the usual Hasbro figures? These crazy main things. So one of the biggest complaints I've seen in the comments was their price. I mean, for example, this Rainbow Dash here, I think is $65, while this plastic Pinkie Pie is like $5. That's a big difference, and the Pinkie Pie is even bigger. You get the mane and everything. So in terms of features, like, oh, maybe this one's better because you get... No. That's crap. And I'm not really good at talking about these sort of things, but in short, yeah, I love these figures a lot. They're totally worth their price tag. Although, because of their price tag, you probably won't be able to get this many. If Shapeways hasn't sent me these, I probably would have bought one. Just one for myself. Actually, I kind of plan to buy the Derpy still. Anyway, some of you want to know the nitty-gritty details. The two biggest questions would be, how fragile are they? Like, you know, they're made of... The website describes them as being a wet sandcastle covered in super glue, which definitely does not sound very stable or reliable as like a collectible figure. But I don't know. I've been handling these, you know, picking them up, looking at them. You can handle it. You can, like, it's not that fragile. It's just if I were to bang this against something or drop it, it would definitely break without a doubt. You know, I feel... Ooh, close up on Pinky. I feel comfortable enough in their strength to hold them by the tail alone, that sort of thing. Maybe not for very long, but they're definitely not made of plastic. One drop and they'd totally be shattered. That's how these things work. As long as you don't drop them, you're fine. So I guess it's kind of hard to go over these because I'm so bad at this. But I guess it's kind of a pros and cons thing. Let's start with the cons because I'm a pessimist. So one of the things I kind of noticed is that the 3D printing of the sandstone results in lower resolution colors. Like, I don't know, it almost looks like Applejack's a little bit out of focus, right? But really they're at the same depth. You know, these aren't meant to be handled or played with. They're adult figures for adult collectibles. I don't know, what do you want to call that? Professional collectibles? I don't know, is there a word for it? As opposed to these things, which are like $5, made of plastic. They're completely hollow. You can throw these around, whatever. These are just meant to sit on the shelf and look good. That's really all they're for. Oh, I guess another thing would be size to talk about. I mean, obviously with plastic is a lot cheaper. You can make them a lot bigger. And another place where I think they might have skimped out a little bit is like the legs are super skinny. I'm just guessing that's to save on material. I don't really know for myself. It probably saves time as well. Speaking of like the time it takes to print, if you look super close, I don't think I'm gonna be able to zoom in this much on the camera, but you can actually see the individual layers involved. Let's see. I think Rainbow Dash was printed on her side like this. I think I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, probably not. Anyway, if you look super close, and that's not a complaint, that's actually kind of cool. You can see the individual layers, how it was printed and all that. And speaking of being printed, since these are printed, you get so much more detail. And just to clarify, in case you don't know, printing a 3D figure involves basically putting down a layer and then putting a layer on top of that and then a layer on top of that a whole bunch of times until you finally get the full figure. And of course, like I said, these are made of sandstone. There's also plastic materials. You can make casted metals, I believe, by making like a mold from 3D printing. Anyway, like I was about to say before, Pinkie Pie here is one of my favorite figures, not only because she's in a more unique pose here. She's kind of like... It's kind of cool how she's standing on 3 legs and they balance it out with her tail. And she actually stands just as well as the other two, if not better, even with this crazy pose she's in. But like I was about to say, her mouth is probably one of my favorite parts of all 3 of these figures. She actually has a mouth with actual teeth and a tongue. It's not just printed on in there. It's actually like a 3D shape. She actually has teeth. She actually has a tongue. I think that's amazing. You'll never find that kind of detail in a plastic mold like this one or anything. Like I said, that's one of my favorite things for the figures. Also, I think I might have mentioned Rainbow Dash's wings. She kind of has the... I don't even know if you can call them feathers. They're like 4 or... Yeah, it's like 6 something really big feathers. And in between like these 2 feathers is actually like a little crease, a little hole, or a little crack in there. It's actually like gives it some more depth, as opposed to a plastic mold Pegasus would just, you know, be a big blob of a feather or a wing. It's not even, you can't even count the individual feathers on a plastic mold. But what else is there to go over? I guess color. The sandstone printing of the colored printing gives you a lot of options for color. I don't remember the exact number. It's something like in the millions of different colors. But Applejack here would be my only complaint in terms of color. Her hat Excuse me, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I'm actually kind of sick. That's why I didn't record this sooner. But Applejack's hat here, it actually looks a little bit green to me. Like, it's not quite as dark of a brown as it should be. And even her coat color or fur color, whatever you want to call it, is a little bit dull. But the other two seem fine to me, especially Rainbow Dash, where color really matters. That it really works here. I mean, no complaints about her colors here. I don't even know how well it's showing up on camera. But what else is there to say? I don't know. I'm not great at this sort of thing. That's why I don't do product reviews. This might actually be my first video ever where I just ramble on for a while. It's a little bit like the live streams, only I don't have anyone else to talk to. Oh, something else worth noting is I believe that they are indeed hollow. At least Pinkie Pie's tail seems too big and too light to not be hollow, and you can kind of, I know you can't hear it, but she feels hollow. I think they're all hollow to some degree. I'm guessing their heads are hollow. I'm not really sure. Their bodies are too small to be hollow though. At least I don't think so. I'm not sure. But that just comes back to how durable they are. They're really just meant to sit on the shelf. They're not meant to. You don't play with these figures like you would, like a kid might with these. The price is one of the biggest things people complain about. So these two figures, I believe, if I recall correctly, are 65 each, and I think Pinkie is 45. I could be wrong, but the reason for that is I'm guessing because they're different artists, and maybe because Pinkie's tail is hollow, that saves a lot of material. Who knows? I don't really know. But anyway, is it worth that much? If you want to buy like all 6 of the main characters and other characters, if you want to buy a whole bunch of these, then yeah, the price adds up, and it's probably not worth like $1,000 for a dozen figures, or no, actually, it's something like that. I don't know. It's a lot of money if you want to get more than one of these, basically. But if you have a favorite pony, like let's say if you really like Pinkie Pie, then definitely go for this $45 Pinkie Pie. Even, you know, Rainbow Dash and Applejack and all the others. If you want to buy one, I'd definitely say it's worth the price, in my own opinion. And of course, if you're rich, then go wild, because it's worth it then. But I don't know. The figures, yeah, you have to consider that a licensed figure like this, everyone has to get paid. There's material involved. There's labor involved for these, believe it or not. There's Shapeways, there's Hasbro, then there's the artists, and I don't know, it adds up, and I think $65 for example, this Rainbow Dash right here, I would probably pay that. I wouldn't buy any more than just one character, but I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I was actually kind of planning on buying a 3D figure before Shapeways even sent these my way. Probably I'd get the Derpy one. I think she's only 25, and with shipping it's only like 30, so if you like Derpy, go ahead and buy that right now. That's a good price. I guess that about wraps it up. Like I've said a million times, I'm not great at these reviews. That's why I don't do this regularly. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer. I'm in no way a professional reviewer, nor do I know a whole lot about 3D printing. So if I said anything wrong in this review, feel free to correct me. So yeah, I guess these figures get Little Shy's thumbs up, or whatever you want to say. I might have mentioned it already, but I do want to get another one of these to buy myself. Shapeways Shapeways sent these to me to review, but I like them enough that I'm actually buy the Derpy one myself. So yeah, these are good. I'm so terrible at this. All right, goodbye everyone.